your name?
My name is Gregory Kirkpatrick.
Where were you born, or did you move here?
I was born here at right on North Point Road.
What was it like to be a farmer in Sparrows Point?
Well, we actually had a small farm, just enough for our own consumption, not so much for sale. Because after my father got laid off from Bethlehem Steel after the war, the economy around here was really bad. So we had the farm just to help feed us and augment the grocery prices and stuff like that.
How did you become a farmer?
Not by choice. It was probably from my mother's idea more than mine to start cultivating the property we had and planting vegetables and stuff like that.
How did your mom become a farmer?
Through necessity, because she was a stay-at-home mom. Most moms in those days were stay-at-home moms. And she stayed at home and raised us. And then after we would go to school in the morning during the school year, I imagine she had other things, but I don't know. I was in school.
Was it hard waking up in the morning and farming?
No. Now you went to bed early, so you got a good night's rest, and come time to get up, you just got up.
How was it growing up?
We didn't have a lot of electronics. Actually shared a phone with neighbors. So you read, you played outside a lot. You didn't play video games and stuff like that inside. Most of my activities during the summertime were outside.
Like, how was it, like when you were trying to use the cell phone with neighbors? Like, was it hard to get?
No, it was called a party line. And actually when your phone was ringing, you had your own specific ring. I forget exactly what it was, but then your neighbors would normally, some of my neighbors would pick up the phone anyway and listen into your conversation. So you had to keep it not really personal, more general knowledge.
What kind of food did you grow?
We grew green beans, corn, tomatoes, cucumbers, okra, pickles, cucumbers, things like that.
Like, did you have a favorite meal that your mom or dad made?
Anything but chicken, because we raised our own chickens and had to, let's say, take their heads off, take their feathers off, and cut them up and eat them. So after we went through that process, you weren't real fond of chicken.
If you went back in time, would you change like your life?
Not a little bit. Nope. Pretty happy with the way things turned out.
Are there things that you miss?
About when I was younger,
Yeah.
not for myself, but for other people, I wish they'd put their electronics down and get more in touch with the real world instead of the electronic world.
Was it hard to raise family?
No, I had a pretty good job after I got out of the service. I worked on Bethlehem Steel, and then I saw the demise of Bethlehem Steel, so I got out of that and went into a state job. And I was a police officer for 39 years, and then now I just do a lot of volunteer work.
When you worked in Bethlehem Steel, what did you do?
I was a crane mechanic. The cranes that ran over top, I repaired them.
How many crops did you have?
You mean different types of crops?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess more than a dozen. Some things grew earlier in the year, and then some things grew later. So you would start your spinach and lettuce and things like that, snow peas early in the spring, and then your tomatoes and stuff wouldn't come in until after July, middle of July.
So, questions.
Is that it? Is that all your questions?
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to tell us about?
Living in this community, I've seen a lot of people come and go and then come back. So I think this community has a lot to say for itself because you're close to transportation, very close to 695, but you're on a peninsula, which, one road in and one road out, so you don't have a lot of visiting traffic. It's either people coming here or a destination here. You don't have a lot of through traffic here, which is a good thing for your community. Keeps out some of the, riffraff. But I would, I'm thinking about moving someday just to a warmer climate, because as you get older, I can't withstand the winters like I used to be able to. That's about it.
Did you go to Sparrows Point High School?
Graduated in 1966.
And do you have any favorite memories or anything that you want to share about Sparrows Point High School or your elementary school or anything like that?
I remember fourth grade for some reason. I learned more in the fourth grade from Miss Saylor than any other grade, because we had a lot of science classes back in those days. Other than that, that fourth grade year really stands out in my mind. In high school, I just studied to keep my grades up so I could play sports, basically, and pretty busy time of my life. When we graduated from high school, you had 3 choices: college, service, or, well, maybe you had 4. You could move to Canada, or hopefully you would get some kind of medical deferral, not that, so you wouldn't have to go into service. But if you were healthy and you didn't go to college, you ended up in the service like myself did.
What kind of sports did you play?
I played lacrosse, soccer. No, I tried out for baseball. I didn't get on the team. Lacrosse, soccer, and wrestling were my 3 major sports.
So you played for Sparrows Point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I played rec ball when I was coming up, but we didn't have a lot of choices like you guys have now. I had recreation baseball. We didn't have club soccer or things like that. You either played baseball or you kind of sat on the sidelines.
Anything else you want to ask, guys? Anybody?
What were your team names?
I had no idea. I don't think we had names. You were junior varsity soccer or varsity soccer.
Where did you hang out at when you were a teenager?
Down at Sparrows Point more than anything else.
In Midtown?
Yes. I had friends down there, Joe White and a few other friends down there, and I did have a female friend down there, so that kind of drew me down to that area.
And what kinds of things did you do for fun?
Played in the woods, basically. Me and my brother, I don't know if you read my letter or not. We had woods on 3 sides of us, and that was our playground.
Okay. I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.